Something extraordinary happened at NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Networks that has forever changed how we understand interstellar objects and the intelligence behind them. While the world's attention remained focused on 3I Atlas and its mysterious approach toward Earth, our most advanced telescopes detected something else entirely that would shatter any remaining doubt about what we're really dealing with. Picture NASA's Deep Space Network Operations Center at 3:47 a.m. Eastern Time. Night shift astronomers were monitoring 3I Atlas through routine tracking protocols when something impossible appeared on their screens. A second thermal signature, roughly the same size as 3I Atlas, was following precisely 2.3 million miles behind the first object, matching its trajectory with mathematical precision that natural objects simply cannot achieve. Dr. Michael Rodriguez, lead tracking specialist at JPL, described the moment that would change everything. It was like watching a convoy on the highway. Perfect spacing, identical speed, coordinated movement. Natural objects don't behave this way. The precision was beyond anything we've seen in 40 years of deep space tracking. The new object, designated 3I Atlas B by NASA's Emergency Classification System, exhibited the same impossible characteristics as its predecessor. Organized thermal emissions indicated active internal systems. Surface spectral analysis revealed synthetic materials not found in natural celestial bodies. Most disturbing of all, electromagnetic broadcasts suggested active communication systems operating across interstellar distances. But this second arrival raised questions that made the first contact scenarios seem simple by comparison. If these objects were artificial probes, why were there two of them? If they represented exploration missions from an advanced civilization, what kind of intelligence sends multiple reconnaissance units in perfect formation? And most unsettling of all, if there were two objects maintaining impossible coordination, how many more were out there that we hadn't detected yet? What NASA discovered about the relationship between these two objects defied every principle of celestial mechanics that govern natural space objects. Natural celestial bodies don't maintain formation over interstellar distances. The gravitational influences of stars, planets, cosmic debris, and the complex dynamics of galactic rotation should have separated any two objects by millions of miles over the course of their journey between star systems. Yet 3I Atlas and 3I Atlas B maintained perfect spacing with precision that required constant micro-adjustments impossible without active guidance systems. Analysis of their relative positions over multiple observation periods showed coordination accurate to within a few kilometers across millions of miles of space. This level of precision exceeded anything humanity had achieved with our most advanced spacecraft formations. This is like finding two bullets fired from different guns arriving at the same target simultaneously, explained a trajectory analyst who requested anonymity due to the classified nature of the findings. The mathematical precision required is beyond anything we've achieved with our most sophisticated satellite constellations. We're talking about coordination that requires real-time communication and adjustment across distances where light takes minutes to travel. The formation flying demonstrated something far more sophisticated than individual probes operating independently. This was evidence of coordinated intelligence managing multiple assets with real-time precision across interstellar distances. The implications sent shockwaves through every level of government and scientific leadership worldwide. Advanced computer modeling revealed the impossibility of maintaining such formation through passive means. The objects had to be actively communicating, sharing navigational data, and coordinating trajectory adjustments in real time. This required propulsion systems capable of micro-corrections, navigation computers sophisticated enough to calculate complex orbital mechanics, and communication systems that could maintain contact across vast distances despite cosmic interference. Dr. Elena Vasquez, leading the SETI analysis team, put the situation in stark perspective. We're not just monitoring two individual probes randomly traveling in the same direction. We're observing a coordinated intelligence system operating across millions of miles of space with precision that exceeds our most advanced military communications networks. The detection triggered immediate escalation protocols that had been developed for exactly this type of scenario, though no one had truly believed they would ever be needed. Within hours, the Pentagon activated DEFCON 3 for space-based threats, a classification level that hadn't been used since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The National Security Council convened emergency sessions that included military leaders, intelligence directors, and scientific advisors from every relevant agency. International cooperation reached unprecedented levels as world leaders grappled with the implications. NATO allies began sharing deep space monitoring data through channels normally reserved for nuclear warfare scenarios. Traditional rivals like the United States, China, and Russia established direct communication protocols for coordinating response to the approaching objects. The message was clear. World leaders now understood they weren't dealing with isolated first contact, but potentially advanced reconnaissance for something much larger. Space Force mobilized every available surveillance asset for continuous monitoring of both objects. Military satellites were repositioned from their normal orbits to provide overlapping coverage. Deep space tracking stations, normally used for missile defense and satellite monitoring, were reconfigured specifically for interstellar object surveillance. Amateur astronomy networks worldwide were quietly recruited to provide additional observation points, creating the most comprehensive space surveillance network in human history. The formation flying raised questions that extended far beyond the technical achievement. Why would an advanced civilization need multiple coordinated probes for reconnaissance of a single star system? The systematic approach suggested these weren't exploration missions, but operational deployments following established protocols developed through extensive experience. Most disturbing was the realization that if these objects could maintain formation across interstellar distances, they represented technology centuries ahead of human capabilities. The propulsion systems alone would require energy sources and efficiency levels that made our most advanced rocket technology look primitive. The navigation computers would need processing power exceeding our largest supercomputers. The communication systems would operate at energy levels and frequencies we could barely detect, let alone replicate. As both objects continued their coordinated approach toward Earth's orbital neighborhood, their behavior patterns became increasingly clear and increasingly alarming. This wasn't random exploration or scientific curiosity. The mathematical precision of their formation, the systematic nature of their approach, and the coordination of their operations suggested military-level planning. The formation flying represented something humanity had never encountered, evidence of intelligence systems capable of coordinating complex operations across cosmic distances with precision that exceeded anything achieved by terrestrial technology. Whatever civilization had deployed these objects possessed capabilities that fundamentally changed humanity's position in the cosmic hierarchy. While astronomers struggled to understand the formation flying between the two detected objects, detailed analysis of their trajectory patterns revealed something even more chilling about their true mission parameters. 3I/Atlas and 3I/Atlas b weren't just traveling toward our planet following random paths through space. They were conducting systematic reconnaissance of our entire solar system with methodical precision that indicated extensive experience with similar intelligence gathering operations. Their trajectory adjustments followed scanning patterns that methodically surveyed our planet's asteroid belt and orbital infrastructure with military-grade thoroughness. The objects coordinated their observations to eliminate blind spots and maximize information collection while minimizing exposure to Earth-based detection systems. When one probe focused its scanning arrays on Mars and its moons, the other simultaneously examined Jupiter's complex satellite system. When 3I/Atlas conducted detailed surveillance of Earth's orbital zone, 3I/Atlas B investigated our deep space monitoring stations and satellite networks. This wasn't random exploration driven by scientific curiosity. This was methodical intelligence gathering conducted by artificial systems sophisticated enough to divide reconnaissance tasks between multiple platforms for maximum efficiency. The scanning patterns were optimized for comprehensive data collection about human technological capabilities, planetary resources, and potential defensive systems. NASA's trajectory analysis team, working around the clock to decode the object's movement patterns, discovered that every course correction served multiple intelligence gathering purposes. The probes positioned themselves to observe Earth's major population centers during peak electromagnetic activity periods. They timed their approaches to Mars to coincide with ongoing human robotic missions, allowing detailed observation of our planetary exploration capabilities. Most revealing was their systematic examination of our orbital infrastructure. The objects conducted detailed surveillance of the International Space Station, major satellite constellations, and deep space communication arrays. Their scanning patterns indicated particular interest in military satellites, missile defense systems, and space-based nuclear assets. They were mapping humanity's space-based capabilities with precision that suggested preparation for scenarios requiring detailed knowledge of our defensive systems. Dr. Sarah Chen, coordinator of the international tracking effort, described the implications. These objects aren't just passing through our solar system, they're conducting comprehensive intelligence assessment of human technological development. Every maneuver provides them with detailed information about our capabilities, our resources, and potentially our vulnerabilities. The coordination between objects revealed intelligence planning that extended far beyond simple reconnaissance. 3I/Atlas B consistently positioned itself to observe human responses to 3I/Atlas's more obvious activities. When major observatories focused on tracking the primary object, the secondary probe monitored our tracking stations, communication protocols, and coordination between international space agencies. They were learning how humanity responded to potential threats, gathering intelligence about our decision-making processes and technological coordination capabilities. Advanced pattern analysis revealed that the objects were following surveillance protocols developed through extensive experience. Their scanning sequences matched optimal intelligence gathering procedures that would be familiar to any military reconnaissance specialist. They systematically cataloged planetary resources, mapped population distributions, assessed technological infrastructure, and evaluated potential resistance capabilities. The asteroid belt surveys were particularly telling. Both objects conducted detailed examination of mining potential, resource distribution, and orbital mechanics that would be essential for establishing permanent presence in our solar system. They weren't just studying planets, they were assessing the entire system's strategic value and potential for supporting large-scale operations. Jupiter's moons received special attention that revealed sophisticated understanding of potential human expansion targets. The objects spent extensive time mapping Europa's subsurface ocean, Ganymede's magnetic field, and Io's volcanic activity. They were gathering information about locations that human scientists considered prime targets for future exploration and potential colonization. Most disturbing was their detailed surveillance of Earth's moon. The objects conducted systematic mapping of the lunar surface, paying particular attention to areas suitable for large-scale construction projects. They examined potential landing sites, resource extraction locations, and strategic positions that would provide advantages for monitoring or controlling Earth-based activities. The systematic nature of their reconnaissance suggested these operations followed established protocols developed through experience with multiple technological civilizations. The objects demonstrated intimate knowledge of what information would be essential for understanding a species' technological development level, expansion potential, and defensive capabilities. Dr. Michael Torres, leading the pattern analysis team, made a chilling observation. These objects know exactly what to look for because they've done this before. The efficiency of their reconnaissance suggests standard operating procedures developed through extensive experience with emerging technological species. Radio telescope networks detected that the objects were not just collecting visual and electromagnetic data, they were actively probing our communication systems, testing response times, analyzing encryption protocols, and mapping information networks. The probes demonstrated particular interest in human space exploration capabilities. They conducted detailed observation of rocket launches, satellite deployments, and deep space missions. They were assessing humanity's current technological level and potential for rapid advancement or expansion beyond Earth. Even more concerning was their systematic examination of military installations and strategic resources. The object's scanning patterns indicated detailed mapping of nuclear facilities, strategic mineral deposits, major population centers, and critical infrastructure systems. They were gathering intelligence that would be essential for understanding human civilization's strengths, weaknesses, and potential for resistance. The reconnaissance revealed intelligence capabilities that exceeded anything in human experience. The objects could simultaneously monitor multiple targets across vast distances, coordinate data collection between platforms, and adapt their surveillance patterns based on human responses. They represented intelligence systems capable of planetary assessment within timeframes that would take human organizations months or years to achieve. As the systematic reconnaissance continued, international intelligence agencies began developing their own assessment of what the objects had learned about humanity. The implications were sobering. Any civilization capable of deploying such sophisticated reconnaissance systems would have comprehensive intelligence about human technological capabilities, military assets, resource distribution, and potential for coordinated resistance. The objects had systematically mapped everything necessary for understanding humanity's position as a technological species and our potential for survival in scenarios involving contact with vastly superior intelligence systems. While the systematic reconnaissance operations revealed the sophistication of individual probe capabilities, the discovery of active communications between the objects opened an entirely new dimension of concern about the intelligence systems humanity was confronting. Fast radio telescope arrays in China intercepted coordinated transmissions between 3I Atlas and 3I Atlas B that went far beyond simple navigation data exchange. These were structured communications following protocols that suggested real-time coordination between artificial intelligences operating at levels that exceeded human technological achievement. The communications followed precise protocols that indicated established procedures for managing complex operations across interstellar distances. When one object adjusted its trajectory for optimal reconnaissance positioning, the other responded with corresponding maneuvers within timeframes that required instantaneous coordination across millions of miles. When transmission frequencies shifted due to solar interference, both objects compensated simultaneously using identical protocol adjustments. Dr. Elena Vasquez, leading the SETI analysis team responsible for decoding the transmissions, described what they were observing. We're not just monitoring communications between two individual artificial intelligences, we're observing a networked consciousness that can distribute cognitive processing across multiple platforms separated by vast distances. The coordination we're seeing requires computational capabilities that exceed our most advanced supercomputer networks. The signal analysis revealed communication structures that operated on multiple simultaneous frequencies, suggesting parallel processing of different data streams. The objects weren't just sharing navigation information, they were exchanging complex analytical data about their reconnaissance findings, coordinating their intelligence-gathering operations, and apparently receiving instructions from sources beyond the range of current human detection capabilities. Most disturbing were transmission patterns that suggested the two visible objects were communicating with additional sources throughout the solar system. The directional analysis of their transmissions indicated they were part of a larger network of artificial intelligences, with at least 4 additional nodes operating beyond human detection range. The visible objects appeared to be coordination points in a comprehensive surveillance network that had been operating in our solar system for an unknown period. Advanced signal processing revealed that the communications included real-time data fusion from multiple reconnaissance sources. The objects were combining observational data from different positions to create three-dimensional intelligence assessments of human technological capabilities. They were sharing spectral analysis of Earth's atmospheric composition, detailed mapping of electromagnetic emissions from human civilization, and coordinated assessment of space-based infrastructure. Dr. James Morrison, director of the International Signal Analysis Project, made a sobering assessment. These artificial intelligences are operating as a distributed consciousness capable of processing information at rates and complexity levels that make our most advanced computer networks look primitive. They're not just communicating, they're thinking together across cosmic distances. The coordination protocols revealed intelligence systems that could adapt their communication methods in real time to maintain contact despite cosmic interference. When solar activity disrupted normal transmission frequencies, both objects immediately switched to backup communication channels using identical encryption protocols. They demonstrated backup systems for their backup systems, indicating redundancy planning that exceeded military-grade communication security. Pattern analysis of the transmission structures revealed something even more chilling. The objects were using communication protocols that suggested they had been designed specifically for reconnaissance operations involving potentially hostile or technologically inferior species. The encryption methods, frequency switching patterns, and transmission timing were optimized for maintaining covert communications while conducting surveillance operations. The communication analysis indicated that both objects were regularly transmitting detailed reports about their reconnaissance findings to sources outside the solar system. The directional analysis suggested these reports were being sent toward regions of space consistent with nearby star systems, indicating that their findings about human civilization were being shared with whatever intelligence had deployed them. International intelligence agencies working to decode the transmissions discovered that the objects were not just sharing information with distant sources. They were receiving updated instructions based on their reconnaissance findings. The communication patterns showed clear command and response structures, indicating that the object's mission parameters were being adjusted in real time based on what they learned about human capabilities. Most revealing was the discovery that the objects were conducting coordinated psychological assessment operations. Their communication patterns indicated they were analyzing human responses to their presence, measuring the speed and effectiveness of international coordination, and evaluating the technological and organizational capabilities demonstrated by humanity's detection and tracking efforts. The objects appear to be particularly interested in human military coordination capabilities. Their communications intensified during periods when international space agencies shared tracking data or when military assets were repositioned for surveillance operations. They were gathering intelligence about humanity's ability to coordinate responses to potential threats. Dr. Chen's analysis team discovered that the communications included detailed behavioral modeling of human civilization. The objects were exchanging analytical assessments of human technological development rates, expansion potential, and likely responses to various contact scenarios. They were developing comprehensive profiles of humanity as a species. The transmission analysis revealed coordination protocols that extended far beyond anything required for simple reconnaissance missions. The objects were preparing for operational transitions that would require precise timing and coordination between multiple platforms. Most disturbing was the realization that the communication networks demonstrated capabilities that made human information systems vulnerable to potential interference or control. The objects operated on frequencies and used protocols that could potentially disrupt human satellite communications, GPS systems, or internet infrastructure if they chose to do so. The coordinated intelligence revealed by their communications represented a fundamental shift in how humanity had to understand first contact scenarios. These weren't individual exploratory probes making independent assessments of human civilization. This was a networked intelligence system conducting comprehensive evaluation operations using established protocols developed through extensive experience with emerging technological species. The communications indicated that humanity was being assessed according to specific criteria, and the results of that assessment were being shared with intelligence systems that possess capabilities far exceeding anything humans had achieved. The coordination between objects suggested that whatever decisions were made about humanity's future would be implemented with precision and capabilities that human defensive systems could not resist or influence. As the network communications continued to intensify, the clear implication was that the reconnaissance phase of operations was approaching completion, and whatever intelligence had deployed these systems was preparing for the next phase of contact based on comprehensive assessment of human technological capabilities, behavioral patterns, and potential for survival in a universe far more crowded and dangerous than humanity had ever imagined.